Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter and I will be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you are watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find a link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. If you are not a member or not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. If you are not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. You must place a space between your real first and last name when you register. You must also use a valid email address or Sparky will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. Please enter your questions or comments in the chat box, and I'll do my best to make your comments a part of the show or questions as part of the show as well. Understand, sometimes even I can't get a word in myself, so be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your questions or state your comments. And by the way, you only can make comments or ask your questions during a live stream. So like I said, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening, starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay. If you find the Stunthangar Video Hangouts I host, or the many building videos and flying videos and contest videos that Sparky does on this platform informative and enjoyable, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, share the videos, and comments also help the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which start at just $4.99 a month, which is less than 17 cents a day. Now, your help, your support helps offset some of the expenses of running Stunthangar. And with that, you'll get special badges that Sparky and I can see in a YouTube chat. And you have access to member-only videos. There's Al Rave and other videos on it that are only available to members only. And you can watch those unlimited, as much as you want, okay? And you can also help us by donating through the super chat feature in the chat box. When you look at YouTube, if you go to the chat box, you can donate there. And that's just, one and done. Hopefully you do that often. But the subscription of $4.99 is every month. Matter of fact, I'm a member. I subscribe to the Stunthangar channel, and I support it myself. So I'm not asking you anything I don't do myself. Now, this is Sparky's YouTube channel. So I'm in here Mondays and Fridays, and if you want to get in touch with me, go to my YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt, and place your comment on or question on the 2019 AMA National Championship video that Sparky shot with his camera of me flying his beautiful Junar XL. And as a matter of fact, I miss flying that plane. I don't think I have a plane that flies as good as that does at this moment. So I do miss it. And I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things you wouldn't do or say around your own children or grandchildren. Without any further ado, I'm going to post a link at Stunthangar Forum now. Let me find that link and post that. Then I'm going to go to the YouTube channel and see how everything's, excuse me, how everything's doing there. And let me go there and see what's going on. There we go. All right, looks like it's working. Thank God. And we have 8 viewers. Thank you so much. And Jack Snavely, you're up there in the chat box. You're the first one. I appreciate that so much. Your comment here is you have a smiley face and you say hello all, and you have all these airplane emojis and a bright sunset or a bright sun. So I imagine you have beautiful weather there. That's great. And we have 7 likes so far. So if you have not hit the like button, please do that. That really helps the analytics of the program. And our goal is to get this as a recommended view on your home feed. If you go to YouTube, you'll see your home feed when you log into your channel. And hopefully this will be one of those recommended views, and then maybe you'll watch us. So that's why I keep plugging the likes. And now we're up to 8. Thank you very much. And Tom Ramel, that must have been yours, Tom. He says like provided. Fantastic. So let's see here. Let me clear some things on my computer here. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, put that up there. All right. We get things set up. So hopefully we have some new guests. I know last Friday, I had Peter, or he prefers Pete Kuna came in, and that was great. I've seen him on a number of occasions at the contest here in California, and we have a mutual friend in Frank Bowman. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Frank Bowman rings, but that's how I got to know of Pete. And then when I saw him at the Golden State Sun Championship, I sought him out and let him know we had a mutual friend in Frank, and so we kind of have a good thing going on. And here comes Gary Sinclair. He's not quite in yet. The audio is connecting, and so he'll be in here very shortly. Hey, Gary.
Howdy.
So how you doing?
Pretty good.
Awesome.
Pretty good.
Awesome. I didn't go flying today. I had too much life in the way, but hopefully when we get back on here Friday, I'll have a flight report and hopefully have some success. But between now and then, I got to work on my SV11, and I need to work on my SV11. I did with Joe Mata's assistance. I did kind of flex the fuselage, and I was able to replicate what Dennis Adamison suspected, and that's that it's opening up. The space across the top of the wing, the chord of the wing. I have what Robert Whitley calls bridges. They're 1/8 thick aircraft ply wood that spans the chord of the wing, and that's what I attached, what I call the canopy, which is really more than a canopy, but I call it the canopy. That's what the canopy attaches to. And they're just butt jointed against the front former and then the rear former in the back. And so the plane is flexing just a little bit, but it's enough to change the angle of attack, I assume. So now I'm going to make those bridges go beyond that. I'm not sure which former number it is, but it's the former right behind the canopy. I'm going to make the bridges go further back past that and attach to the fuselage sides about 1 inch beyond the trailing edge of the wing. And hopefully that will fix it. Don't know. That's just something I'm hoping will work. Everything is just try, and then try again.
But it was moving.
Yeah, very little. I mean, it's not like it's a 1/4 inch. I saw a space. I didn't measure the space, but what I think I saw with my eyes was something on the order of a 32nd to a 1/16 of an inch. It's not
But it shouldn't do that, should it?
No, well, you don't want it to do it because it's changing the angle of attack.
Yeah.
The tail is dropping down. Yeah, because that's a shame. I don't know of too many other people with an SV11 that aren't tickled pink with them. So that's a good design. It's a proven design, and it's something I believe I self-induced. So I'm going to fix that. In the comments section, Will Davis says, "Hello, Charles from North Carolina." Hello, Will. Thanks for coming in the chat, and come on into the to the show. If you have a camera and a microphone, most computers have a microphone, but some don't have cameras. But if you could get that, that'd be wonderful. And then Dennis Animison says, "Hello, Charles and Gary. See you in a bit. Like delivered." Well, thank you very much. We have 17 concurrent viewers right now and 12 likes. So please hit that, smash that like button. And then also consider a super chat donation, and also consider a joining our YouTube channel, which is starts at $4.99 a month, and that's a pretty good deal when you consider you're getting a whole lot of experience with Sparky himself, and then sometimes at the show at John's Garage, or Saturday at John's, I think that's what it's titled. You're getting the combination of both those gentlemen's experience, which is a lot. So
volume come up when you move that.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
Thank you for letting me know. It does make a difference, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's great. I didn't. There's some things I got to do to get the show started, and I just happened to just notice the camera's over there. So after the show, I moved the camera away because when I'm at my desk, I don't want to keep bumping into it. Yeah, shame on me. I know. Very good, John. Hello, John. How are you?
I'm okay. How about you?
I'm doing well. Doing well.
I spent Saturday up at Gordon's house.
Oh, great.
Yeah, we had a good. No, I wish I did, but I brought home Gordon's changing the profile of the rudder on the Pathfinder Twin.
Really?
And he extended the nose 2 inches. It looks really good. And so I've got a. Whoops, where'd you go?
Here I am. Sorry.
Oh, okay. And so I've got to make those changes and a couple other changes because he wants to go to a molded leading edge on the wing with it double molded out to the bay outside of each of the nacelles to add some strength there on the leading edge. So anyway, it looks good, and he also did it on his latest single engine Pathfinder. And I mean, it does. It looks really good. Just he didn't lengthen the nose, but that rudder profile he's come up with, it really, really is nice. It looks good. So, yeah, when I get it drawn, I'll show it to you guys.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing it. Because I actually liked what he had before. So if it's even better, that's great.
I think it is. I really think it is.
Well, I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a good trip up there, and then I got to see Brent. I got 4 handles from him.
Wow.
Well, I've got 4 planes I'm going to be building, and I want a handle for each plane. So
I know it is definitely the way to do it. You know what Steve and Samantha Hines do, which is kind of like, duh, why didn't I think of that? They don't adjust the handle, so they can use the same handle for all their planes. I think they adjust the lead outs. And they adjust that. And so
that's all good. That's all good, but what if you show up with 2 or 3 airplanes at a contest you're going to fly, and you got one handle, one set of lines?
Well, you just move them from, but usually it's not been a problem when I've flown 2 different planes at a contest. Like if I fly in Classic or if I fly in Pampa, it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, as you know, those 4 handles, you spent like $100, well, no shipping, but if I was to buy 4 handles, that'd be like $160.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, it's an investment well made. You're going to use them; they'll last for your entire career. Your
That
kids,
is
grandkids will use them, you know?
that is very true. I mean, I have not haven't had one of those handles deteriorate in any way.
Yeah.
I mean, they last forever, and I'm just saying that.
Well,
You know,
just
another
call
way
me
to.
old. Just call me old school, Charlie.
Oh, I'm old school too. I have the same. I have the same problem. I mean, I've accumulated, and when I went to the Las Vegas Stunt Challenge, I actually picked up 2 more handles. They weren't the uh, the Brent Williams handle that he designed or he distributes, the ones that are like the Ted Fancher style, but they were decent. I think one was if I showed it to you, you'd recognize it,
Mhm.
and I believe it was a hard point. I usually don't pick up wired handles.
Yeah.
I just don't. I pick up hard point handles, but there's like a couple designs out there. And even when I went to the VSC, I picked up a couple handles there. And when I went to Brodax, I picked up a couple handles there. So
Oh, yeah.
I try to pick up handles wherever I go.
Well, that's good. That's a good practice, actually. I like to be able to open a drawer and, and I paint each handle to match the airplane it goes with.
Yeah.
So, I can look in there and say, oh, I got to take this one, and this one, because I know,
Wow. Now that's a good idea. That's something that I could, that would be an improvement because I have on occasions forgot the handle. I mean, to the practice field, but fortunately for me, I can get back to my shop in like no more than 15 minutes. So you're talking about 30 minutes that I lose.
Yeah, but
I'm
if you're
making
out of Brodex,
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. But see,
yeah,
going to Brodax or going to like the Golden State Sun Championship or going to, Wooden Arrows or anywhere else that I'd go, I have a list and it's the same list I refer to. And I have everything, don't forget to bring handles, extra engine, glow plug, chargers, I have a whole laundry list of everything to bring. And I actually literally check it off to make sure
that's
that
good.
I haven't forgotten anything.
That's good. That's a good habit to get into.
Yeah, I just have a list I made out of Excel. I think it's an Excel spreadsheet, and I just print it and I just check off
Yeah,
everything because it's nothing worse to get into a contest. You're ready to fly. You've been practicing. You're in,
forgot the wrong thing or brought the wrong thing.
Yeah.
and then to try to find neutral or whatever, or even just being a nuisance and having to borrow something from other people, and remember to get it back to them before they have their official flight.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's all part of the game, I guess. But I just like to have a handle for each airplane. So it's for me living in the Stone Age and coming up through that way. It's just nice for me because I could have all my planes sitting there with the lines out, so it's ready to fly. Because a lot of times you'll have a classic flight come up right after your Pampa flight, and you run around, mess around, changing lines and stuff like that. It just, for me, it's a hassle. It's a lot easier to spend a few extra bucks and buy a handle.
Oh, absolutely. If I was in that situation, I would take a plane that I'm not flying at all, and then just cannibalize that handle to put on the 2 planes. If I didn't have more than one handle, if I had 2, let's say, and I had several more planes, I would just swap it out and have a handle for each plane that I'm currently flying.
Well, I'm sure that Steve probably has more than one handle. I could be almost say with certainty.
Yeah, he does. But Samantha is like, this is the handle she likes. I think it's that handle that Jim Smith made, the Smith brothers made.
Yeah,
it's a carbon fiber handle, and she likes that, and so
well, that's fine.
that's not a cheap handle either. I think that was not a cheap
$35 or something like that. Yeah.
Well, I almost bought one there at the Nats until I found the price.
Yeah.
I had purchased other things there, and because there was Tom Morse was there and Randy Smith was there, and there were other things that I had my eyes saw, and I rationalized that I had to have that.
Sure.
So
I know that works.
I just couldn't have everything and Jim Smith's handle too. So I just declined on that, figured I'd get it some other time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I also, Brent brought over the latest project he's working on. Brent's pretty agile-minded guy, and he's concentrating on profiles because he thinks that, you know, people beginning in the hobby need something that's quick and easy to build and somewhat competitive, not a piece of crap, but, you know, they can compete with it, but they can also take it off front, and it's got to be strong. And he's come up with a profile fuselage that uses 2 5/8, I think it's 5/8 inch OD2 carbon fiber tubes. And it's only a 0.5 millimeter thick, so it's very thin walled. And he's got one at the top and one at the bottom. And that sets up his basic profile and a few other little things that he's doing. And then that allows the builder, you know, you can change things like cockpit, canopy layout, rudder, and all that. You can make it look like any airplane you want, you know. But it you know, if you want something that looks like a stiletto, yeah, you can do that. But it's a basic fuselage he's worked with. And I looked it over, and I'll tell you what, that thing is strong, and it won't twist. And he's working on it. I hope he keeps going on it, because I think he has a lot of potential there, if the guys will take and try it out.
Yeah. So he has a couple carbon fiber shafts going on the back of the fuselage after the high point of the wing.
No, actually they start clear up by the nose, and they go right across the wing and all the way back to the tail. One at the top and one at the bottom. It's very strong.
Well, that sounds very strong.
You know, and real easy to set up for electric if you want to go electric, or set it up for IC. Easy. Or as they say, easy peasy.
Easy peasy. I like that.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I won't be eating any pizza tonight.
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
No, I went and made me a big pot of chili.
Oh, good. Good. Well, you know, it's probably good too to change your diet. You know, I'm gonna have to modify my diet too. I think eating popcorn this July will be 2 years hosting the show. Twice a week eating all that popcorn with the salt.
You get those dry little eruptions.
Yes, and it just I don't know, but I think I'm going to change that up. So, hey, let me catch up with the chat box. Marcel Legrand, he says, "Evening all. I hope all is well. Thank you, Marcel. And if you have any updates, I know that John and I and the rest of us would be really interested in seeing that on your progress." And then John, was it Lytle? Liedle? I think that's how you say it. I might be mistaken. But he says, "Charles, you can make your own handle pretty easy, and they fit your hand." That's true. And John, I saw after Friday's show that you made some comments that were in the comment section on YouTube. So I wasn't able to say it real time what the comments were, and I did see them, and I'm scratching my head to remember what you actually put in the comments. But I just want to let you know I did see them, and I didn't respond. I'm not in Sparky's channel that much, and I have so much I have going on, so forgive me for not commenting back or replying back. But I see you're in here, and this would be the optimal way to communicate with us, is what you're doing right now. So thank you. And then I would like for you to come in. I've seen your name on the forum, and I don't know if we've ever passed paths with each other, but that'd be great to put a face and a voice with your name. So please consider coming in. And if I can ask for people to really, who have not come in here, to please really consider coming in. And it's only because I have some really consistent friends that come in all the time. And we have been talking about this for, like I said, July will be 2 years. And I think we've pretty much talked about everything, not everything, but a lot. And so we're susceptible to getting off, onto other subjects. So having new people come in, or actually, I don't want to replace, I want you to come in addition. And then I think that'll really help the show. So if you really care about this program, I am asking you, please, to really consider overcoming your shyness, and if you have any technical problems or challenges,
We don't bite.
we don't bite. And if I can help you get in, I've helped some other people. Actually, Steve and I helped a person come in, and I've helped some other people come in. And so please consider doing that. If you're a member of Stunthangar Forum, go into, just PM me and say, hey, I'm just a dummy. I don't know how to do this. How do I get into the show? And I will make it easy for you to get in. And then after a while, you'll be on your own. I've helped people do that. I think Walter Moore was in here last. Hi, Tryon, by the way.
Don't forget Denny there.
Walter Moore was in here, and we communicated on the forum, and he's now coming in. And there's been others. I can't think of all their names, but yes. So please consider coming in. I would like to have you come in, please. And Howard, hi Howard, how are you doing, Howard?
I think Denny's got something to show us. So,
Denny, you gonna show us what you're eating?
Oh, that's it.
Oh, popcorn.
Ah,
Doesn't hang your video.
That's the official snack of Cheltenham, isn't it?
Yeah, Gary had his hand out. He was hoping
Yeah,
you would
yeah,
part
go
with
ahead.
some.
Get me one.
Hey, I joined up about the time John was talking about, I think, building profiles with carbon fiber reinforcements.
yeah.
Yes.
I got these,
Oh wow, they're square.
square section tubes, and I'm going to be using these on a Walter Umblin Excalibur classic era profile model.
Really?
Now, what's cool about Walter's profile kits is that Walter doesn't cut if calls for a 1/2-inch fuselage. He knows he can't reliably cut a 1/2-inch with a laser. The laser starts wandering and stuff like that. So he normally, when he kits a profile, he kits it with 2 1/4-inch pieces. And of course, the goal is to take those and just laminate them together, and works well and stuff like that. But I did this on one of his other kits. So Miss Kel, I did it without the carbon, but I'm going to do the Excalibur with carbon. I am going to join the 2 1/4-inch pieces with this along the top and the bottom edge. So I'll end up with basically a 3/4-inch wide box with these incredibly rigid rods going the top and bottom. And I think it's going to make for a very strong fuselage. These things are extremely light. Not going to add any appreciable weight to the product or anything like that. And by now, 3/4-inch profiles, nobody gives them a second glance anymore. There was a time and they'd look at a profile had to be a 1/2-inch, not because of rules, but just because, well, that's what everybody builds, right? Yeah, but letting that wander a little bit. And I think that's all for the better. And of course, the Excalibur was probably the first profile that the designer Dick Mathis took advantage of using cheek cowls on both sides of the nose.
Yep.
So it was nominally 1.5 inches wide at the front end, and made for a far stronger front end than profiles of the era. A typical big profile at that time was a Magician or something like that, with a 1/2-inch slab with a 1/8-inch plywood doublers on it. And Dick Mathis's Excalibur was far stiffer in the front end because he had a 1/2-inch cheek cowl. So you got a great transition from the nose into the wing structure and stuff like that, made for, of course, on a profile, if you can get that front end structure stabilized, then the engines run better. And, there's just lots of happy things happen when you do that. So.
Well, and the Excalibur can use a little stiffening back behind the wing because it gets down pretty thin back there. But what a great flying classic, though. Yeah,
well, the rear fuselage is really kind of skinny, and I can see where something like this is really going to make a big help for it. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's one of those
So-
round to it's, but I'm going to get around to it, and I think I'm looking forward to a really good profile.
Of course, it'll be
out of that.
electric, right?
I'm sorry.
Of course, it'll be electric, right?
Is there any other way?
Oh, it's 35S.
I don't know. Well, actually, the way the Excalibur is built, I could basically hide the electric motor.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Yeah,
not,
you-
virtually hide it, you know?
Yeah,
So,
he needs a 2800 series motor.
yeah, and the fuselage is wide enough to hide the battery,
Yeah,
or at least it won't be sticking out in the breeze. I'll
Right.
have it accessible from the inboard side, probably basically flush mounted to the side, but,
yeah. Well,
And,
I built one and it flew better than it should have been able to.
mhm.
Well, that is good news. And then, I think that's so why didn't I think of it kind of a thing? I was always thinking about putting a round tube along the length of the fuselage to stiffen it. And I never even thought of square tubes. So I think that's excellent.
Well, of all things, I found these things on Amazon of all places. So it's not like it was a hard search or anything like that. So
What are those dimensions of those tubes?
I think these were, I'm trying to think, I think these were 5 millimeter. I think you could
5 millimeter
get,
square?
yeah, 5 millimeter square. I think you can get 5 or 6 or 4. You can get them round. You could even get a couple of solid rods and stuff like that. But the neat thing about the square tube is that it's going to be perfectly natural. The way I want to use it, I'll just literally glue it flat on this slab of balsa. It's not, it won't be dealing with, hitting it on an edge or anything like that. So
Danny, did you get any of the uni direction that we got a while ago? A bunch of us.
did I get what again?
Did you get any of the unidirectional?
No,
Okay.
no, I think the way they make these, I think it's so-called pultrusion, which is really a pretty low form of carbon.
Yeah.
But it's, again, compared, they're still remarkably stiff and, they were not terribly expensive either. So
I was
and
like,
it's gonna be a light year improvement versus the stock fuselage on it, so.
oh yeah, no, definitely it's going to be a very, very, very good improvement over the
Mhm.
stock fuselage. But if I was going to do that to reinforce something and make it even lighter than it is, I'd use the unidirectional.
Mhm.
And you can just take the fuselage, they're flat like this, but you get a top in and just bend it in a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Make a little bit of shape like that. So you put a unidirection like this on the top, a piece here, and you have the piece on the sides. And if you don't soak them down, actually you put them separate. You wet it separate, you blot it out, and then you put it on the top of the fuselage. This is not going to give you much resin, but you
Mhm.
have to vacuum it, do all the good stuff in there.
Mhm.
And that's going to give you a super light structure, much lighter, even lighter than what you're thinking.
Mhm.
Anyways,
Very good. Let me interrupt. Let me say hi to Paul. Thank you for coming back, Paul. I appreciate it. Awesome. And thank you, Howard Rush. And thank you, Phil Bailey, for coming in. So I'm going to go to the chat box here. Rick Wallace says, any chance you can do a Lenny knot on the show and tell? Missed it last time you showed. Anybody up for that?
For what again?
Okay, you remember when we named this knot after Lynn Burrell?
Lenny Loop.
Hmm,
Called it the Lenny knot.
yeah,
Oh, it's
Well,
the Lenny Loop.
Rick Wallace, he's saying, any chance you can do the Lenny knot on the show and tell?
let
He
me get
missed it
some
last
stuff.
time.
I'll be back in a few.
All right.
Hey,
And
Charles,
then,
Charles,
yes,
that's
John.
that's the Lenny Loop.
Lenny Loop.
Yeah, Lenny Loop.
Okay, I was just reading what he said. I was
Yeah.
just reading what he wrote. What's the Lenny Loop? Okay. And then John Lido says, my name is my name was pronounced correctly. Well, I'm so glad. I really respect each and everyone's name, and I just cannot stand it when I butcher someone's name. And
That's
I
because
know
you have
people have
such a
been
hard name to.
people have been kind to me, but I know it's not the best way to create rapport is butchering someone's name. So, anyways, Mike Rigel, he says, I'll try to come in at a later date. It would be great. I have to figure out how to do that using my phone and rejoin the forum. You know, that's the one thing I don't personally have that experience doing. I know Mike Lonkey uses a phone. Phil Bailey, do you use a phone to come into the show? How about you? Howard, you have used the phone, right?
I'm doing it now because
Okay.
so it works better in the shop. I'm not in the shop, but I'll go out there and show you some laser cutting if you're interested.
Howard
Oh,
can
that'd
do
be
it any
great.
which way.
That'd be great.
He's smart.
Michael Gell, so I don't know how to do that because I don't have an iPhone. I have a cheap smartphone. It's a knockoff. So I don't know if you would want, maybe you can, Howard, could he PM you, Howard, on the forum?
Who?
Mike Rigel,
Yeah, about what?
about how to get into the show using an iPhone.
I just clicked on the link in the forum, just like I do with the iPad. Well, I guess it's the
Okay,
same sort of
it's
thing.
that simple.
Click on the link and here I am. That's all I know.
Okay, and then once
It's
you're in here,
also-
are you able to see all of us?
No, that's interesting. I can't see everybody. I can with the iPad, but not with the phone.
So when I make like just a moment ago, I made Dennis out of missing big, and I will, and again to do the Lenny Loop. When I make him big, you can see him, right?
Yeah, I saw him when he was talking.
Okay, all right.
I have a story. Speaking of Dennis, well, it's not really speaking of Dennis, but Mark Scarborough had a beautiful profile impact, and we put a camera on it and watched it fly, and the profile fuselage wiggled from side to side as a function of which side of the circle it was on. I guess it was the wind somehow it was doing it. And this so disturbed him that he put some big, ugly reinforcements on the side of the fuselage.
It is, didn't he put something like a really long, like a flat fairing or something like that, basically a horizontal blade on the fuselage? Is that the one I'm thinking of?
It was something ugly.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Square or something. I don't know what it was.
Yeah. I had a friend of mine down in Indianapolis had a naughty girl profile, the RSM kit. And it had, we couldn't tell that it was bending, so much fishtailing. It was more like it was twisting, really obviously twisting. And he put a set of like 3/16 round tubes. He just sunk one in the top and the bottom of the fuselage. And it made a remarkable effect on it. Really stiffened up the rear fuselage and basically got rid of all of the twisting and everything else. I was kind of surprised it had that strong effect on the twisting. It was just, two top rail, top and bottom rail, but just sunk into the wood. But
yeah,
you can definitely, the age of the unflexible profile is here, you can do it.
Wow,
So,
that is.
I'd like to make a correction. I said that something about naughty girls in Indianapolis. They were actually at Indiana University in Bloomington, a few miles south of Indianapolis.
I shall check to the power on that. That is, you would know about that. So I only knew about it in the park in the flying field. So I didn't know about the other naughty girls, but
yeah, well, that's right. Those days.
All right.
Let me continue with the chat, and I didn't finish. Just hang on 1 second. Let me see here. Remove this, and then we'll get to your show and tell shortly, Dennis. Let me change this here. Hang on. So make this here. Okay. All right. So back to the chat. Microgody says, I've heard you can still buy those round tuits. I don't know what he's referring to.
Well, it's a tuit that's round.
Yeah.
That's implied, isn't it?
I've seen them.
You
Yeah,
have?
about
Okay.
the size of a quarter.
Mm,
All right. And then he said, or excuse me, and then Jeff Riley says, you can get a new round two, and then I'm sure it's a spell check got in the way. Every time you finish a roll of toilet paper. Let me see.
That's kind of a big too.
All right, I'll leave that alone. And then Rick Wallace says, thank you. And anyways, and then Brent Williams says, howdy guys. Howdy, Brent. Hey, I know you came in once before. Come on in again, Brent. You had a great debut. Please consider coming in again. And so you guys ready for the show and tell on the Lenny Loop?
Yeah.
I
All right,
suppose.
let me get you big there.
All right, so I guess we're gonna be. First off, can you see?
Yeah.
All right, this is a piece of 80-pound Max Quattro that is tied with the modified surgeon's knots as recommended in the Mike Stinson video and stuff like that. As you can see, it's a double layer of line, and all by itself, it's plenty strong and everything like that. Normally, you would hook that through a line clip.
You gotta raise it higher.
You would hook that through a line clip, and there you go. It's ready to go. The problem is that it's prone to just kind of float around anywhere on the clip. All right, there's nothing to really hold it there,
right,
or anything like that. And then you could even slide it off. Yeah, here. I could slide it right off the clip without even.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah, it's a little. So Leonard Burrell here. Leonard is our colleague from Canada. I believe he's up around the Chatham, Ontario area, just across from Detroit. He suggested tying a Lark's head knot to hold the line in place. And the way to do that with the already completed loop, you take the loop and you take the line and pass it through the loops. All right. Can you see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can take the line clip, hook it over the line.
Raise it up a little bit higher.
A little higher there.
There
Yeah.
you go.
All right. And now you just kind of let it, pull and slip it together until
you actually have a knot on the clip itself.
Yeah. And now this knot, it's like an extra double, like doubles up all the lines. You have like 4 strands of line going around the line clip, which should be a good thing for any point stresses right at the clip. But the other thing is that the knot is going to resist. It doesn't completely lock it down, but it resists the movement of the line on the clip.
Right.
All right. And then you can actually, the belt and suspenders thing is you can put a little piece of fuel tubing, stretch it out over the clip, and that'll limit how far it can go too. So, but just in honor of Leonard Burrell, it's just a Lark's head knot, and you look it up, it's pretty easy to see. They use it in macrame, they use it in kites, use it in a lot of, heck, you can use it to attach your boat to the, tie your boat to the dock and stuff like that too, the same way. But since Lenny suggested it, I suggested we immortalize him and the knot. We call them Lenny Loops.
Lenny Loops, it is.
All right. Now, of course, the beauty of it is too, if you need to change line clips, so you're using a hard pointer handle or something like that, there's two ways off. You can just kind of finagle it off, loosen it up and pull it back off. But really, it's loose enough where you can Just force it right back around, take it out. And you're good to go again with a different line clip. If say you wanted one that was longer or shorter or something like that to adjust with your hard point handle. But that's all it is. And it's a pretty handy little, I think it's going to be a pretty little handy device to have on hand to just help us handle these lines with the loops in the end instead of the old eyelets or anything like that.
Well, hang on a
Then you
second.
can add
Dennis.
something to that.
Go for it.
All right. So there's another way. Instead of trying to get the whole line through that one end, like you said, that's a simpler way to do it.
All
It's
right.
something like this. You do this. If you put, can you see this?
Hang on one
Put your
second.
finger- Like
hang on
if
one
you
second,
put your
make it
fingers to
big.
them,
Hang on one
Like-
second. Let me make it big. Try and hang on. It's gallery, and then I'm gonna make you big. Now everybody can see it for sure. Okay.
so you said if you have a loop, and you put the other line through it, right? So, something like this, right?
Mhm.
And you tighten down, and there you have it, right?
Right.
Something like that, right? Watch
Right.
this. You don't have to get the whole line through it. You can just do this. Get it in between,
Mhm.
and there is your loop
Yeah.
right there.
Well,
And now you
key
get your clips and then just lock it in. The same thing.
Yeah.
Same exact thing. But you don't get the whole line through it.
Yeah, well, this one, you saw how much line I pulled through. It's just an
Yeah,
inch
I
or
know, I
so.
get it, yeah. But if you have to put 70 lines through it, 70 feet of line through it,
Mhm. So, but you can tie it
Looks
at
good to me.
either end, so.
yeah. No, but I said after you have this loop, what you do is just kind of fold it over on itself like that.
Yeah.
And you pull it over like that.
Mhm.
See that? Done. Same exact thing.
Yeah, well, what you just demonstrated is exactly how they tie a kite line to a kite.
Uh-huh.
All right.
It's
they
exactly
actually-
what you did.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you did. Only you did something different. You just put the line through it and just pull it through.
Mhm.
And you still
The,
achieve the same thing. You see that?
Yeah. Interesting.
Same exact thing.
You should be able to do that with a clip without even unfast clip.
Mhm.
See that?
Very cool. Very cool.
Same thing.
Now I have a question. I'm just thinking that with these spider wire, I'm really careful with my stainless steel lines with my reels. I'm very concerned about when I wrap my lines up on the reel, how I secure the lines to the reel so I don't get a kink in it. And now that with the spider wire, that's the least of your concerns now, huh?
Yeah, you don't worry about it.
You don't even worry about it. That's pretty
Don't even
neat.
need to worry about it anymore.
That is pretty neat. That is I actually took the regular snap-on clips. Hey Pete, thanks for coming back.
Hi,
Awesome.
Charles, everybody.
Hey,
Everybody,
Peter.
Pete Tuna's back.
Walter.
So anyways, what I was gonna say is that with my stainless steel lines, the reels, the clip that goes on, I actually punched a hole in the flat part in the center of the reel, and I put a clip on that. So when I get through wrapping up all the lines, I actually attach the two thimbles onto a clip that's attached to the snap, and that's way that the lines never get a kink in it. And so, and it's kind of a pain to put a hole in stainless steel. If you can imagine, it's not easy to drill. It's better to punch it.
Yeah, well, it's one advantage, I guess. There's, I dropped it. There's my 2 lines,
Right?
and with these, hopefully slip it on through, and everything's nice and captured. So
Yeah,
That is neat. There's yet another way to do this. I mean, it's getting ridiculous, but you can also, you got your line clip and you take your line and just run it up through the inside of the clip, take it over the other end of it and pull it back. It gives you the same knot. It's exactly the same way I do it. But
So Dennis,
I always take mine when I I leave one clip on the airplane so that I don't hook the lines up backwards. So what I found when we went out and tried it is if you have one end of the end that's on the airplane, you're going to have where those clips bend over each other is going to be out, but you can still take just take the clip off, run it through the center of it, over one end of it, pull it back. You end up with the exact same knot. It's 4 lines there. And
All right, there it is.
another way, not a better way, just another way to do the same mousetrap.
Very good. Thank you.
So Dennis, do you ever, somebody put out on the Stunthangar that you get stretched in those lines? Have you experienced that?
I have been pre-stretching the line, and I don't. My experience right now is very narrow and everything like that. The lines I've used were very conservative, so I haven't experienced any stretch in flight. The lines I used on the SV-11, for example, were the same 100-pound Power Pro that the combat guys use, and I did pre-stretch those. And there's absolutely, the airplane weighed at test flight time weighed 72 ounces, and going to stunt plane speeds and everything like that, I had no semblance of stretch whatsoever that I could tell. So
I didn't have any on my Vectra that I could tell.
Mhm.
But one thing I can tell you, what I thought was weird, maybe it's not weird. Anyway, made 2 lines and they're exactly the same. I put black marks on both of them at the same time, tied them up, got them ready to go, pre-stretched them 1 line at a time. But when I put them back together, the lines are still exactly the same length. So they stretched equally. So it's not going to hurt anything. But I only stretched it to about 45 pounds.
Yeah.
But at 60 feet and at 67 feet, my 100-pound is stretched to 67 feet, which is what's going to go on the Revolutions. The 60-pound is to go on my Vector and my Ringmaster and whatever else I fly. The stretch was about 3/16 of an inch at 67 feet, but who cares? It's stretched equal. So it's the same.
Yeah,
So,
Paul, I'm sorry, Phil, finish, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted.
Oh, yes, you're all right. No, I just want to tell one more thing that y'all talking about, or if I understood it right, you're talking about round tuits.
Mhm.
My insurance guy and my financial advisor both give these things. That financial advisor gives out one that looks like just a green thing. It's got 1 round to it written on it. These say 1 round to it, but they look like a poker chip. But anyway, you can get those. Okay, back to you. Sorry.
Now, what do you
Okay,
use round 2
I was just,
for?
Round to it. That's just what I do with it. And I got my brother and I've always been a little bit competitive. And he kept saying that there were some things he wanted to do as soon as he got around to it. So I didn't give him around to it. I gave his wife 2 of them.
Okay. All right.
He didn't speak to me
Okay.
about 2.
I just wanted to follow up with Paul for just a second.
Go ahead, Dennis.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
Just going to say, Paul, if you, when I was pre-stretching my 100-pound lines, I had them tied to a tree, literally, and I was pulling on them, and I thought I could feel springiness in it. All right. So I pulled and held, and then I was just gently moving my hand, up. I had a handle on it. I was just moving my hand back and forth a little bit, if you will, loading one line more than the other and going back and forth on it. And I counted to 100 while I was doing all of this, all terribly scientific, right? And then I thought they felt kind of spongy and stuff. And then for the heck of it, I went and I unrolled my 7-strand 18 thousandths lines, and I tried to do the same thing, and I'll be darned, they felt exactly the same. All right. And you might, I guess if you need some convincing, you might try something like that. Anchor the lines, tie them on a handle, and you'll pull like you're pulling a pull test or something, and then just kind of move your hand around, and you'll be surprised. Even the steel lines will give up what feels like a lot of sponginess. All right.
Yeah.
So,
Now, do they sag? Do you have some sag in the lines?
Well, the bow
From-
and the
from
line,
resistance?
yeah, I didn't notice it. But the bow and the lines looked about the same. All right, the line is a lot lighter, but the physical dimension is about the same as the cable. So if you will, the air drag on the line was about the same. And I didn't notice any difference, like it was any more or any less or anything like that. The line itself is lighter, so I did notice a lot of hinging in the wing. I kept messing around with tip weight and everything like that to try to get rid of that. And frankly,
Right.
I think, and I'm just speculating, some of the guys who are using the high strength line and stuff, we're looking at the possibility of replacing, like 018 line with 014 line
Mhm.
or 015, lines for smaller with like 012. I would speculate that it might call for a little bit of lead out position. There might be a new opportunity there,
Okay.
because of the lower drag on the line and stuff. But that's,
Okay.
I don't see any night and day differences happening or anything like that, but it'll be probably just one more go round on it to see if, it's still in a happy place. So
How much weight did you end up taking out, Dennis, out of tip weight? A bunch?
I'm sorry.
How much of your tip weight did you end up taking out?
I took out 3/4 of an ounce on the SV and I still needed to take a little more. All right.
Wow. I only had
And,
3/4 of an ounce in my Vector and ended up taking half out.
well, my problem is that on all of my airplanes, including the SV11, I built in some weight.
Oh, yeah.
My feeling is that I like using the tip weight box for the last, fine tuning.
Yeah.
I only had a 1/4 ounce in it and the rest was already built in. So I took out the 1/4 ounce and I put a 1/2 ounce on the other wingtip.
Wow.
That was my net 3/4 ounce effect. All right.
Okay.
Of course, when I got home, I chopped off the wingtip and I dug out all the lead I could and everything like that, put it all back together. And I weighed the wingtip before I started. And then after I finished, and I got it up to the same weight. And right now I have 3/4 of an ounce of tip weight in it, that's removable. And since I flew it with the 100-pound, and the next time out, I want to try it with this 80-pound line that's smaller and lighter. I know darn well I'm going to take out a 1/4, maybe. I'm going to keep taking it out till the airplane says too much. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then, of course, back it up. That's all.
Yeah. I ended
I
up
have a
taking out a half
question
an ounce. I
from
was stunned.
John Miller's been waiting patiently. So John, go ahead.
Okay, there's some comments made that I'm a little concerned about, and that is when you're using a hard point handle with the clips, you can't put the two clip, the end with two clips or two pieces of wire on it through the hole on your hard point. So that means you have to have your line tied around the two pieces, so where the two pieces come together. And I'm a little concerned about that myself, thinking about it. It makes me want to use a solid ring there or something.
I thought the same thing, John, but once you put it in and you've got it, you got this basically. Once you put it in here and put the Lenny Loop on it, it don't move. It don't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. So you,
John, I think the other thing working in our favor on that is that where the clips come together, you have two round pieces of wire. You don't have any sharp edges there or anything like that. Now, the trick is don't let them move. So you tie the loop in it. And I think also put a piece of tubing over the clip or something like that. So it just flat, it's kind of, that would be the belt and suspenders, so it can't move from that zone. But I think it'll be all right then.
Okay. That's a good answer. I was concerned about it because.
And your answer is a good answer too. There are solid stainless rings comparable in size to the brass eyelets, but you can also tie that loop into a solid ring too. And you can be in good shape there and never have to think about it. So.
Yeah.
Now, what about just attaching the Lenny Loop to the line clip outside of the hard point handle? And then when you're done, then reattach the clip with the lines back to the handle.
To do what again?
I don't know, maybe I misunderstood John Miller, but I thought he was thinking about the difficulty of attaching the Lenny Loop to the hard point handle with the line clips on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, well, if you disconnect the line clip and remove it from the handle, then you would have the flexibility to do the Lenny Loop and all that stuff. And then when you get done, then reattach the line clip back to the hard point handle.
It's not that hard though, Charles. It really isn't.
Mhm.
All right.
If I can do it as fumble fingered as I am, I know darn well John can do it.
Yeah, if you're going to take, and my flying buddy does this, if you're going to take your handle off of the lines every single time, you might want to just go ahead and put the steel ring in there. It'll be easier to handle. I usually leave the handle attached to the lines. And so basically
I do too.
mine's going to be set and forget. And and then I try to make all the I try to use a standard size line clip on the down line that stays with the lines. And then the up line clip is the one I use to set my neutral. And hopefully it's close enough that that's all I need. And then of course the upline clip stays with the airplane, like one of our other advisors here mentioned earlier.
Well,
It's
in your show and tell, Dennis, Rick Wallace says, "Got it, thank you," or actually says, "Thank you, guys."
All right, I got one. Big John, did you make it up to Gordy's?
I did.
How does the new twin look? You're talking about the extended
just-
nose and I don't know what else, but
He's just starting on it, but he brought out his latest single engine Pathfinder, and he has
Uh-huh.
new tail on that. And it really looks good. I was very impressed with it. I
You
think
gonna draw it?
Yeah, I think it improves the looks. You know, I mean, it's a subtle thing, you know, but it really looks nice. And he extended the nose on the twin 2 inches and
Wow.
dropped the point down 1/4 inch from the center line of the previous one. So it's drooped it just a little. It's not drooped, but you know, it's hard to explain it. The one,
You'll
the
make me
one, look at
rebuild
my
the whole
hand.
front end of the airplane. Oh, shucks. Okay.
The one ends right here, the standard one.
Uh-huh.
And the other one is just a little bit, 2 inches ahead of it and just a little bit lower. Just a very
Okay.
minor thing. But it as a twin, it elongates the fuselage somewhat and should make it appear to lock in better, I would think. And it has some just nice aesthetics to it. So I've got all that information and I'm going to start working on it. Gordy doesn't like Geo style wings. I do. So
I do too.
I'm going to modify both drawings. I've got a drawing for the Geo wing, and I've got a drawing for the standard wing. Gordon wants to go to a formed leading edge on it. You know.
Well, I'm doing that.
Yeah, and so that's going to be on it, and we're trying to decide. I talked to him about it. We didn't make a decision. I'm going to have to call him on the phone because after seeing Marcel's twin with a 3/4 inch wide fuselage, I like that so much. I want him to go with a 3/4 inch wide fuselage, twin, and go with the 1/2 inch nacelles instead of the 3/8 nacelles.
Mhm.
You know? And so I got to talk to him about that. So
Excuse me.
that's
I
all
think
right.
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
Are
so
the
that's where we're at.
Are
What?
the engine cells any longer or just the center fuselage?
Just the center fuselage, the engine nacelles are the same. Though that might change because he wants to be able to get a decent tank in there, you know, that would easily without having to chop anything up with. He was going to go metal tanks, and I think I got him convinced to go with RC style tanks.
And he's going to go with 15s again.
Yeah, he's going to go with those Magnum 15s. It's kind of nice. You can still get them if you know the right place to get them, but they're not Magnums anymore. But they were 15s with twin ball bearings in them, you know, and they're pretty healthy.
I'd like to know about that. I'd like to have some of those.
Yeah, it's a pretty healthy little 15.
I did a kill loop with the original. You can't do that with a cluck tank.
That's true.
That's pretty slick.
John Lytle wasn't. I was thinking John Lytle was there and as a witness, but it was Mike Haverly who witnessed that.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Well,
Well,
I'm going to try it electric. I want to do electric.
Yeah, I wouldn't go any other way myself either nowadays.
It's easy
What?
to do a kill loop with an electric.
Yeah.
Hey, what?
It's easy to do a kill loop with an electric.
Especially if you got the tut.
You got to touch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, question. Did you ever, was there another, we were talking about the 3 being a fragile wing. And I got to looking at that thing and got ready to start working on it. And I realized, you know, as far as that spar comes forward in that front wing and in the outboard of the wing, it's only like 1.5 inches from the leading edge. That leaves an awful lot of rib behind it to flutter and do nasty things.
Well, that wasn't the problem. The problem was it would fold the wing.
Yeah. That'd be nasty
wasn't a
too.
strong spar setup.
Well, it didn't have strong enough spar, and it doesn't have the benefit of sheeted leading edge, so it doesn't get anything out of that. It's all it's an I-beam that's even more fragile.
It needed to have more of an I-beam style beam in it instead of what it had. And that's the weak point. You could do it and make an I-beam type wing on it.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm planning on doing it. But in looking at it, I'm thinking about making it a true I-beam, just building a new spar and sliding it back further or doing something. Because the sheeting at the leading edge is going to be, it'll come back 3 inches at the root. But if you run it like you normally do, it's only going to be like 1.5 inches at the tip. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to remember the guy's name. He Meads. He was from the Southern California. He flew at Whittier Narrows, and he moved to what's the town there in New Mexico where the spaceship supposedly crashed in the 40s. Roswell, yes. He moved to Roswell and didn't have anybody to fly control line with. So he started flying RC, and he died about 4 or 5 years ago. Oh, that's a shame. But he built literally all of his Pathfinders. He built as true I-beamers. You know, and the whole idea on the original Pathfinder was to have that I-beam look with the ribs and half ribs on the leading edge. That proved it wasn't not to be strong enough. And so Gordon said, we're going to put a sheeted leading edge. And that's what I would suggest. Unless you go with a full true I-beam and you know what you're doing, go with a sheeted leading edge, and regular spars. I like to use 1/8 by 3/8 on it, not straight up and down, but flat, because your section modulus, you want the wider section modulus, because it's straight up and down. You think it's stronger, but if you look at the amount of distance on that 1/8 inch compared to 3/8 inch, the 3/8 inch laid flat is a lot stronger than the same size standing up on its edge. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way little Ringmaster is built. It's like it's got shear webs down the center of it. It makes it like an I-beam, except it's a real I-beam. Okay. But that little plane, when I got the wing together, I was amazed just how strong that little sucker was. It was. Yeah. Well, what'll blow your mind is if you ever build that All-American Eagle. Yerkes plane. Yeah, I want to build that. That's in the pile to build. That wing is amazingly strong. The way I built it anyway, it's full I-beam, and the ribs slid on and they, where they on station, they were tight. Without any glue, you couldn't depress the wing. Wow, that is strong. Yeah. That's pretty slick. Well, I'm looking at it, and I thought about what you said Friday, and I said, that wing if you could build that with Warren Truss ribs, that would be a tough little wing. You talk about the 3? The 3. Oh yeah, I can do that. Well, I'd love to do it. If you'll draw it up, I'll build it, because I'm working on that airplane now. Everything's built but the wing, and I'm laying out the wing, but it looked all right when I was just looking at it in the box and in pieces. But once you start putting it together, it looks like it gets weaker and weaker. Well, yeah, that was it.
the design never went anywhere. Nobody seemed to be interested, so we stopped on it. And
Well,
so-
I like it. I'm gonna do it because I
Yeah.
figure as good as that plane flies with what y'all call a Hershey bar wing, a constant chord wing with a tapered wing, it's gotta fly better.
Yeah.
And that thing just flies so good as is.
Go ahead, Howard.
I wouldn't change anything. It's just wonderful.
Well,
There's a good article I read, Phil.
Mhm.
And it was about performance with a Hershey bar wing or a straight wing, constant chord wing.
Mhm.
And there is real, I wish I'd have made a copy of it, but there's real scientific aero engineer type work done on the abilities of a properly designed constant chord wing.
Mhm.
And that when it's right, it doesn't give up much at all, if anything.
Well, I think that plane's right because of my
That plane-
Pathfinders. If I go reach for something, I want to go fly and really have fun flying. That's the one I grab.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a profile and it flies so darn good.
Howard's got the best one of the bunch so far.
Yeah, well, Howard's got the luck of the Irish too, you know.
By the way, Howard, that little shield you've got on your alongside your name when you make the post, what is that? The little arrows and the crossed lances or something?
Oh, that yeah, the Kosciuszko Squadron insignia.
Yeah, I finally saw an airplane that actually had that on it, that picture one. I said, now I know where Howard got it.
I published the story. I can tell you it takes 20 minutes.
Mm.
That's a cool story.
Well, I'm interested. I don't know about the rest of the guys.
Yeah.
Story about airplanes. Go ahead.
Back before the American Revolution, there was this guy in Poland, Tadeusz Kosciuszko, and he was dating a nobleman's daughter, and he was riffraff, or putki, as my 100-year-old Polish aunt called it. So the nobleman had his boys beat Kosciuszko up, and this is my version of the story, and that caused a distaste for nobility and the old order, and so he went to Paris, audited some military courses, and went to the American Revolution and signed up and rose to the rank of brigadier general in the American Revolution. He did the fortifications at Saratoga and West Point, and then he went home to Poland and led a revolt against the Russians and became a national hero. We don't celebrate him much here, except for some. There's a few counties named after him that the names are hard to spell. A street in Chicago, I guess, because it has a big Polish community. So forward to just after World War I, this guy, Marion Cooper, was a captain, I think, in the U.S. Army. He flew airplanes in France in World War I, and got involved in a food aid program to Poland, and with the army. And while he was in Poland in 1919, a war broke out between Poland and the new Soviet Union. And this guy, Marion Cooper, organized the Kosciuszko Squadron, named for General Kosciuszko, the Pole who came to help us out. And was made of this assortment of Americans and Poles. One guy brought his own Sopwith camel, and they beat the Russians. They were invading this city that I cannot pronounce, and the Kosciuszko Squadron, they called them, whoop the hell.
Beat them back.
Yeah, and then in World War II, the Kosciuszko Squadron lived on in Poland, and they got out of Poland, went to England, and convinced the Brits to let him fly in the Battle of Britain. And they flew, and you can see them in the Duxford Museum. There's the Spitfire there with a
That's where I saw it.
Squadron emblem on it. Yeah, and anyhow, they had the winningest squadron in the Battle of Britain, at least the winningest Hurricane Squadron, and the squadron lives on now. That Polish equivalent of the Thunderbirds has they fly MiG-29s. They have this emblem 10 feet in diameter on top of the fuselage. It's pretty cool. Marion Cooper, the guy who organized the original Kosciuszko Squadron, went on to produce and direct the movie King Kong.
Really?
Oh, I thought that name sounded.
Yeah, and then in World War II, he went on to become a deputy head of the Flying Tigers.
Really?
No.
Yeah, was quite a character.
Wow, that's very good.
So that's where that insignia comes from.
And that's why you have it on your airplane, your impact.
Well, I was going to Poland for the World Champs, and so I was looking for something to put on the airplane to show the relationship Poles in the U.S.
Very cool.
I have to double check the monument, but there's a monument to General Anthony Wayne in downtown Fort Wayne here. And one of his subordinates was that major, or I don't know what rank he was at the time, but it was, I believe it's pronounced Kosciuszko.
Well, probably the U.S.
All right. But there was, it was like loops all over you. I remember you wrote that story in Stunt News, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it was like, of course, his name was in, in Detroit and everything else. And so, yeah, that was quite a character, quite a life well lived there. So,
yeah, there's a monument to him in Warsaw, too. I went there.
Well, Howard, if you have a chance, can you pull up the image so that people who are watching this can see what you're talking about?
Yeah.
If you can
And
pull
you
it up,
can
that'd
see it
be
on one of
wonderful.
Take you out in a few minutes.
You can see it on one of the Spitfires. If you go to the Duxford Museum and look at their really excellent video they made.
I think in the movie Battle of Britain, I believe the Polish squadron makes a kind of a little cameo appearance. They're trying to gather up squad, and they go into this room with all of these people who speak a language they can't understand, but they're right smack in the middle of it.
Yep.
And they gave them the Hurricanes, not the Spitfires, but they accounted acclimated themselves extremely well. So
very cool. Well, if you can, Howard, if you can pull it up so they can show our audience, they might be interested in seeing what.
In my remembrance, Denny, they took the Polish squadron, they put them further up north so that they wouldn't be getting in their way down around the Battle of Britain until they found out just how good they really were.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I can interrupt you guys for a second. I have an announcement. Rick Wallace, he donated $20.
Wow, Rick.
Chat. So thank you very much. Really appreciate. I think this is our first. Maybe it's not the first, but I think it's one of the first ones for this year. So thank you very much, Rick Wallace, and I appreciate it immensely.
Was that the same gentleman who asked for the loop?
What are you trying to get a commission? Is that what it is? Yes.
No. I believe when Leonard Burrell comes on, we're going to have to give him another accolade here. So
Yeah, when Lynn Burrell comes in, we'll have to give him a that a boy.
Lenny
that's
Looper.
right. That's right. Tell him to, that's it.
Ay.
It's not the same as John Miller and his Pathfinder subsidy, but what the heck? Yeah.
Yes. So that's pretty cool. So right now we have we actually have eclipsed I think 26 viewers or views and 27 views, I believe, and we have 26 likes. So thank you very much. And $20 super chat. No new members. If you're watching this, please consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube memberships. It's just $4.99 a month. That's less than 17 cents a day. And that helps support the channel, helps pay for some of the things, helps keep the lights on and everything else. So, but thank you very much, Rick Wallace. I really appreciate it. And you guys, I want to show you something. Let me share something with you real quick. Let's see here. Share. Okay, where did I put it? I thought I had it up.
Story of my life. Twice in my life, I've had my stuff together. The first time I couldn't lift it. The second time I can't remember where I put it.
Tabs up. Let me bring this other tab up so it'll show up when I go to the share screen. All right, so now I'll do it again. Here we go. You ready? Share. All right, there it is. So this is what Gary, I'm going to show you January. Can you guys see it?
Oh, that's cool. Sharp. That's going to be, oh, that's nice. I like that.
That nice?
Yeah.
So this is January. We're in January,
Friends
so I thought I would
that's
show
nice. I like that.
And so we have the other months. I'm going to, hopefully by next month, everybody will get theirs. And I think according to the last email Gary sent me, the total is about 76, let's say $77 total. Is that right, Gary?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I know that Steve Hines, has already said he would pay for the whole thing, but I'm asking for donations for it because I know that Gary's doing this out of his generosity of his heart, and he did it for the last several years, sent them to us. So, but consider donating to the cause. I know that Gary would greatly appreciate it, and next year, get ready, get the pictures in earlier, get this thing going so that we can actually start off January 1 with the calendars. Everybody has it, and everybody has it in their own possession. So, and it's probably my fault. So we'll hopefully do a better job next year. But you can see in this image here, top left is a friend of mine, Kirk Mullinex, with his Corsair. He passed away in December of 2020. And then going clockwise, you have Jim Smith there, who passed away in December 21. And down below the bottom here is Phil Granderson, passed away just this month, January 2nd. And then finishing off with another friend of mine, Bob Whiteley, with his Chiseler. He passed away really close proximity to Kirk's passing, which is a testament of how close these guys were. I mean, I remember speaking to Bob Whiteley after Kirk had passed, and Bob was very upset. And then he ended up falling and getting in the hospital and some other complications, and then he passed away. So I lost two guys that actually I would call them, because I didn't know you guys yet, but I would call them years ago, and they would give me help over the phone. And then so anyways, that commemorates January, these individuals we've lost.
Yeah,
and
that's great.
Rest out. There's no more deceased, please. No more.
Yeah.
No more. So
if you ever got to see that,
gonna be still with us.
If you ever got to see Kirk's Corsair in person,
oh yeah,
that thing. I don't know if anybody ever drew it up, but that's one I'd like to have. Take the plans and just frame them and put them on the wall. That thing was, that was a masterpiece.
Yeah, Eric Rule was so upset that he didn't draw plans, that Kirk didn't draw plans. He just, I don't know. I had another friend, Mike Mulligan. He could actually do a napkin presentation when we'd have breakfast. And then several weeks later, he comes out with the plane he drew on a napkin, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Tom Looper does that. Aggravates the tar out of me.
yeah, it's just aggravating. Some people have so gifted, but I don't know if I ever showed it, but I do have pictures of the some better pictures of the Corsair.
I'd love to see him because that plane just fascinated me. I couldn't get close enough to it to take any real good pictures from my camera, but
All right,
I got
well,
to
will
see
see
it.
if
I got
can,
to see it fly. I didn't get to see it take off, but I got to see it fly, and it was just amazing.
Yeah, I was totally blown away with that plane. And I saw it fly several times. He would come down and visit because he was friends with the guy that I flew with, David Sabon. So
I met
got to
David one time.
Another airplane Kirk did that's equally amazing was the P-38. It was tremendous, but I think he used 25 FSR engines and never could tame them and get them, synced quite right. So it didn't have the competition career that the Corsair did, but Corsair was amazing.
Weren't those 25 VFs on pipes?
Maybe. No, they weren't on pipes. I think it was that
Okay.
25 or 28 FSR.
Different airplane.
I don't think it was pipes. I think he said it was, but I know it was the ball bearing high output 20 OS.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen 4 multi-engine stunners that really blew my mind. Now, Paul Walker still got the top slot. You can't see that B-17 fly and not wonder, how is this possible? But I mean, that Corsair, just that bent wing bird, you just thought there's no way all the mechanism he's got to have in that wing to make those flaps work, that it can work correctly. It's got to bind and give him a problem. If it bound, you sure couldn't tell it watching it fly.
Yeah.
He brought that thing down to 4 feet and bang, and I'm sitting there, wow. I think I stand there beside Bob Hunt when I saw it fly, and we both said, that thing turns. I like that. That was nice. Kirk was so nice too.
Those wings seem to be unfazed by the wind too.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah. My funny thing, every time I build a plane with the hedral and the wings flying upwind, it always feels like it wants to lift a little bit, and it just kind of upsets you. Even if it don't really hurt the aerodynamics, it just kind of upsets the pilot because you're really concentrating. And it goes lifting, and you wonder when it's going to just blow away all the way over on you. That one seemed to be unfazed. Everybody commented on that. Several people did. It was an amazing plane. But Kirk was a very nice fella too. He didn't know me from Adam South Cat. I asked him questions about the plane, and he answered everything.
Yeah, I really enjoyed talking to Kirk next and Bob Whiteley. Very nice.
Bob was a mess. Bob Hunt's comment on Bob Whiteley was absolutely on point. Just after Bob Whiteley died, Bob wrote, and he says, competition at the stunt circle just got much more competitive in heaven. He was exactly right. I'll tell you what, Bob Whiteley was a competitor. If nothing else, even if you took away everything else, which you couldn't if you ever met him, he was a builder, he was a flyer. Lord, he was a competitor. He liked to win. But if you beat him, he was the first one to come congratulate you. I didn't beat him. I saw Bob Hunt beat him, and he was the first one to walk up to Bob at VSC.
Hey, Dennis Nunez, if you're listening, I did send you an email. So I sent it probably, 15, 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
I mean, Dennis Nunez.
Oh.
Let's see here.
Well, I want to know if you got my emails from last week.
I did. I thought I said something. I didn't say. I'm so sorry. I did. Thank you very, very much.
They opened up all right and everything?
They did. They sure did. Thank you.
They're huge attachments. That's what I was worried about. So
yeah, thank you very, very much. Appreciate it.
okay.
I'm trying to see if Gary has a PayPal so that those who want to donate, they could conveniently send it to him that way. I'm gonna see if
I
can.
have his address. I'm just gonna send him a check.
Oh, that'd be great. Let me see here. You guys continue on. Oh, by the way, Marcel Legrand said the P-38 was first drawn on a napkin.
So it's P-51.
Yeah.
Most of them were.
Yeah, this is what he said. The real P-38 Lightning was first drawn on a napkin.
Yeah, that figures.
Kelly Johnson, there were about 6 different configurations he was considering at the coffee shop in Burbank. And he sketched them all. And
wow.
You know, but they were sketches on a napkin, just his ideas of how to think out of the box for that for that interceptor competition, because the Army Air Force had enough fighters, so they wouldn't authorize another fighter, so they called it an interceptor.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a workaround. And all these, it's in a couple of the Lockheed books about Lockheed. My dad was a Lockheed engineer, so I had a little inside track on that.
Yeah, they said that plane was the most feared plane. The Germans feared that one more than any other American plane, and the Japanese feared it as maybe more than the Germans. So my dad was a 17 radio operator, and he said they were sure glad when those things come up to support them, because the Mustangs and all would have to stop and not follow them all the way because it just didn't have the range. He said that 38 could take you all the way to the target.
That's actually, it was the Mustangs that extended. The P-47 is the one that had the short legs.
Yeah,
and then
P-47 had short legs. Mustang got to where they could take them all the way in. My dad was in early in the war, and the early Mustangs couldn't go all the way in. Allison powered stuff. The D's
yeah,
could.
they were.
You know what the German
A-36, they were actually designed for ground attack with the Allison, and it was the British who put the Rolls Royce on them, and the rest is history. Yeah. Part of that, though, is the 8th Air Force, when it changed from, I think, Ira Eaker, and their mission was protect the bombers. And they should have realized that it doesn't work. It looks good. It makes the bomber guys feel good to have the fighters right by them. But while they're escorting the bombers, trying to slow it down to 180 degrees, the Germans are 10 miles away watching to see what happened, waiting to spring. Yeah. Then when Doolittle came in, he said, our mission is to kill Germans. And they wanted to, and as soon as they saw the German Air Force, the German airplanes starting to mass for their attack, they'd break off and aggressively go for it. In 43, when all you had was 47s and 51s, they weren't allowed to do that, which put them at a real disadvantage to configure from crews staying with the bombers to now they're coming at us. I've got to get this big twin engine monster, trimmed for fight. And by the time you do everything, being you're probably, they've already been there and gone. And that was, the idea was to go out, seek them out before they could get the bombers, as opposed to stay close. And that's the one that worked, the strategy. But anyway, I digress.
Well, thank you, Pete.
Sorry.
Move to your right a little bit.
I know.
There we go. Thank you. I know you can't be a camera anymore, but
I just have too much time reading about that stuff.
No, that's interesting.
Growing up around airplanes.
Oh, absolutely. We all love airplanes. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
And by the way, you guys, I can't find a PayPal account for Gary Sinclair. Not our Gary Sinclair. There are lots of Gary Sinclairs. So please don't send Gary Sinclair on PayPal any money that's meant for the calendars. So I guess the other way would be, I don't know. I got to think about how we can. I know Phil, he has Gary's address. Does anybody else have Gary Sinclair's address?
Any of you that got his calendar should have it.
From last year, yeah. If you hung on to the envelope or cellophane.
Just
Yeah.
don't do
Now
it
Steve
on,
already spoke. Steve said he will do it. So I mean, it's not like it's not paid for, but
Well, if not now, when you get the calendar, then you'll have it. Send it back. You know.
Tell him no more bathing suit editions, though. That was a real rough.
Oh.
yeah.
Hey, Lynn's here.
That was good, man.
Lynn's
Hey, guys.
here.
How's it
Hey,
going?
Lynn. Thanks for
Hey.
coming in, Lynn. Appreciate it.
How's it going?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Lenny, you have been immortalized, my boy.
Why? What's going on?
The Lenny knot.
Oh, the Lenny Loop.
The Lenny
Lenny
Loop.
Loop.
Lenny Loops. Okay.
Lenny Loops, yes.
Someone asked for a demonstration, so I tied one for him.
Yeah.
And that same gentleman later made a donation. to
Oh,
this.
wow.
So in your honor, Lenny, you are the patron. You are our patron.
Wow.
Thank you.
For
So
something so simple. But
that's
anyway,
it.
when I told my wife about it, she says, "Well, it's no wonder you sure are loopy."
Best laid plans of
Well,
mice
that
and men. What
fits.
can I tell you?
Yeah. Well, even
pretty good.
Dennis Nunes gave you a shout out in the Spectra thread.
Yes, I saw that. I noticed
Yeah.
that. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yep.
That's cool. Well,
So
we'll just-
you are an international star, Len. What can I
Wow,
say?
man, oh man, what can I say? I had to become a star of something in control line. I don't know anything. I'll take it.
That's it.
Oh Lordy. That's a mess.
Oh yeah. By the way, I took a look at those Spitfire plans today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do some serious drawing because all I've got is a big mess right now. I've got little pieces and parts and stuff that are all in a
Oh,
baggie, and I'm gonna have to draw it all out neatly on some paper and get a couple of photocopies, and anybody who wants a copy can have a copy.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sounds great to me.
Okay. Sounds good. So I'll work on that over the next couple of weeks.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Oh,
So I was playing with something today.
what'd you learn? Oh,
Making a
you
mommy.
you formed one.
Yeah, I
What
have
did you-
I have two of them.
Hang on
What
a
is
second,
that?
Tryon.
Charles,
that?
I'm out of here. I got things to do. We'll talk to you
All right,
later.
hey, thank you,
You
Pete, for
take care
coming
of
in.
yourself.
Yeah.
I take
Take
care.
it easy.
See y'all later.
All right, man, take care.
Okay. out of here.
Looks like you formed a wheel pant.
Nah, it's not a wheel pants.
Wingtips.
Wingtips. Yeah, okay. Cool.
So what I
Oh,
did,
good.
I was thinking about putting some cling wrap on top of it, and then I said, wait a second, I have some monocoat here. So I monocoat in the molds
That'll
to have
work.
like a non-stick surface.
Well,
And
what
the rest is like the way I do it usually, right? So so what I'm gonna do after that, I'm gonna put an X-Acto knife blade on a 4-inch height offset, and I'm just gonna hold like this on a flat table because I have a flat surface here. Hold like that. Now, obviously, take the Band-Aid off, right? I'm gonna trim it like this, and then I'm gonna put it flat in this direction and trim it along the leading edge. And with that, I should have a pretty close to size. I might have to clip off the tip a little bit, maybe a quarter of an inch or so, and put a solid block in there and shape it and blend it in on a wingtip.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. If I just have that little bit to work with and to deal with, it's fine with it. So that's wingtips.
Looks good.
Very
When
good.
you mentioned the monocoat, it brought something to mind. When I was making the molds for the Bearcat fuselage, the Al Raby Bearcat fuselage, BBQB, the big one, not the little one. Al told me that when you finish your mold, you get it all ready to go. The first time you mold something to it, it'll stick and make a mess. The way around that is just use some rattle can paint, some cheap paint, and paint the thing good.
Mhm.
And then the first time and then just sand it with, I think he said 400, just enough, just about one pass over, just enough to knock something that stuck to it would make a mess. Just knock it down smooth, mold your stuff and it won't stick. You don't have to use a monocoat then.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it works.
Uh-huh.
I molded
Yeah,
3 Bearcat fuselages for people and it's never
If you
stuck.
guys curious, I'm also
I see that. Looks good.
Wow.
Wow, you're coming right along.
Mhm.
Actually I'm getting ready to glue the horizontal right now. The wing is already glued in place.
Looks good.
All
Trey.
right. Good job.
So yeah, that's a. I mean, it's. I mean, yeah, I'm happy with it.
Why is
Yes,
that
so-
metal on the turtle deck?
Hmm?
Why is that metal on the turtle deck? What's that for?
Hold it
Wait.
down.
Wait, to
Okay,
hold
wait.
hold the
Wait.
top block.
I just needed a tiny bit of weight to push the tail down,
Okay.
so it doesn't lift up because I have. Look, I have these 2 blocks here. See the
Yeah.
block?
Nice. I see that. Very nice.
Ah,
If I take this off, they're gonna just
Yeah, I see
fall
that.
off, kind of like that.
Right.
So
Okay.
I just want the plane to sit on top of them and not move sideways.
Yeah.
Right. Very
just to
nice.
stabilize. Yeah.
That's all. So I have some blocks here underneath the wings
Mhm.
Yeah.
that are equal distance from the center line of the plane, and I'm using this cutting board which has lines on it and all the good stuff. So I know exactly where they are in position.
Oh, nice.
And I'm also using I put some tapes here on the sides to tell me if the fuselage is not one side or the other. The back side obviously is going to stay on the center line here. And when I'm done, I'm just going to put these little blocks in here that I just made now. And I'm going to take the square and just push against the block. So it's perfectly vertical. And I'm also on a line here. I'm using the lines as a reference here. And then I'm going to put another block on this end like this. See? And I'm going to get my other square and just push it there until I touch the line. I'm touching the line on this other end, and now I'm horizontal and square in relationship to the center line. I don't even need to measure to any of this stuff.
Yeah, I see that. I was just thinking that while you was explaining that. Excellent.
We all do this in the same form, just different.
Yeah.
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 Huh?
Very good, Tryon.
Yeah, very well done.
So, Phil, I got some pictures up of Kirk Mullinex's Corsair.
All right, I'm ready.
You're ready, and are you done? You done trying?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Let me change gears here, and let's see if this is going. There we go. I see it. I'm going to share it now. What do you guys think about that?
Man.
Wow, that's a serious dihedral wing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This is some pictures I took,
Well, you ain't kidding.
and this is a side view of it.
Wow.
Now, if you think about this, if you look at the previous picture that you just showed us from the front, you can see how. Look at the elevator, how it flies in clean air.
Oh yeah,
Didn't you guys say that this plane flew well?
yeah.
Very well.
You
Flew
wonder
very
Very
why?
well.
Look at the elevator. It's in clean air.
That's in clean air. Absolutely, you're right.
Yeah,
Well, it is at some angles of attack.
a little bit, but obviously, it looks pretty clean air there.
So here's the side shot of it.
Now, even from the side, look at how high is the elevator. The top, the elevator is right on the top of the wing. If you draw a line from there, it hits the top of the wing, which means the bend of the wing is always the wake. It's always underneath the elevator. Well, at least
Look at
looks
that
like that to me.
Look at that reflection on the stab of the rudder.
That is very cool.
Yeah,
It's a nicely painted plane.
It had a nice finish on it.
No kidding. Wow.
I don't mean to offend right now, okay? But you have a warbird
I
They're
know, I know.
never shiny.
I know.
No,
I know. I know.
I
I
mean,
understand
No,
that. That's
The
the
finish
most-
the finish is wonderful, okay? Nice
Yeah.
stripes, nice lines, nice everything. But shiny on a warboard, I'm going like, oh, come on.
Well, you know,
No,
I understand you, but if you take a look, especially post-war, they're aggressively dark blue and everything. They had glossy finishes on them.
Okay.
Here's some more
I
shots.
don't,
I have about
there's a
3 or
bunch of
4
them
more.
up in the museum up in Battle Creek. They got a whole collection of Navy airplanes up there, and they are shiny.
That's
Yeah.
wild. Cool.
So
It may be like just the paint they use after that.
well, they
I
were
know
new. When they were new, they were shiny. They didn't last
Yeah.
long in war.
I
Yeah, when
think
they're
that might
sitting
be
out in
right
the
too.
sun, yeah.
So you can see
Exactly.
the lead outs coming in at the bottom of the wingtip. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, how we navigated that, the control surfaces is quite an
That's
accomplishment.
awesome.
Yeah, that'll be the trick.
I don't know how he built it and kept everything in alignment. He must have just about gone bonkers.
Well, I've got a DNB Corsair that I've got a kit downstairs. I flew one 20 some years ago when I was flying radio. And I'm telling you, it's not easy.
No, I'll bet.
This is when it landed, I believe. And then it's another image up in the air.
Jack,
Mile Square Park?
No, this is Montgomery Airport here in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to meet Bob Brooks, Dave Sabon, and once in a while Dave Keefe would show up.
you're in San Diego?
Well, basically, I mean, I live in Escondido. Escondido is about a 30-minute drive away. So I would drive down to San Diego in the morning to meet these guys.
We might get to see you this coming summer if this COVID crap's over. We're going to see some friends of ours this summer. They live in San Diego.
Oh, great. Yeah, we could definitely hook up. I can definitely have you fly.
Cool.
You can fly one of my planes.
That could be fun.
Oops. God, I think
Oh,
it's just
wait
so
a minute.
sensitive.
Wait a minute.
Let me get back.
That
Okay,
sure
there's
looked like a PA in the front of that thing.
There's two ways of looking at that.
And that's the one. This is the one that's in the calendar. This shot is in the calendar.
Show back up a couple because that one was just up there for a second. No, keep going. No, front end of the model.
Oh, the first frame. Okay.
No, right. You had to look right in the cowl.
Yeah.
Oh, it was after that. You could see the engine.
Yeah, it's after that one.
After this one. Okay. That's after.
Keep going.
Keep going.
That ain't it.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
It's after the
Going.
calendar shot.
That's a pretty
He was
picture.
trying to identify the engine, and there was a real good picture there that probably would let you
Okay,
do
I'll get to that
that.
in a second. Let me just
Yeah.
continue on.
Go
So this
one
is
more.
This is Kirk
That airplane
Mullinex,
was
and in the
big.
background is my friend Bob Brooks, who's probably taking out the lines for Dave Sabon for the next flight. This one.
There
There
you
you
go.
go.
Right there. Don't do anything.
I can make it bigger.
I don't need to be any bigger. That's a Super Tiger. It's got
Yeah.
side exhaust. Well, that's pretty though.
I don't know
Man,
what the engine is. I'm surprised it'd be a Super Tiger. I think it's more like
Yeah.
something
that
else.
might be a PA, but it's a
Yeah, I
side
think it's a-
exhaust if it is.
When I'm looking at the Venturi, it looks like a PA.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
it's a
it
PA.
does. It does.
It is a PA.
Yeah, I believe it's
That's pretty. I'm surprised he didn't have a radial up there just for looks, you know?
Yeah.
I've been looking at mine all day. I'm trying to set it up for my new pipe ship, and so I've been looking at my PA all day. I'm sick of looking at it.
So I'm gonna pull this side
Go
show
ahead.
down.
I got
right?
it.
All
I got
right.
it. Go ahead.
All right.
What amazed me was how much angle was on those wings. That thing's looks like it's pretty close to scale.
Yeah, I'm surprised when the fuselages are so round and
Yeah.
it takes away so much of the prop. You know, how they can still have that pull and fly.
Well, the first one I ever saw, Dennis, well, the first one I ever saw that was built like that I thought was the most amazing stunner at the time I'd ever seen. And I was beginning to believe the thing was invincible. And then Dennis beat it at the Knights for the Walker Trophy. And that said, well, how about that? He is beatable. But that was amazing to have a 6-inch nose. And we all thought, oh, you can't do that. But he had a 6-inch nose and a 12-inch prop.
Yeah.
I think he used bigger than that, but when you take a Tiger 60 with the motor mount and the muffler on it and slip it in through the front end.
Through the front, yeah.
Yeah, there was no cowl on it. He put the
Wow.
motor and his fist basically into the airplane and bolted everything down. That's a
amazing.
Big airplane. Yeah.
And he had to do this every time he had to fool with his tank because the tank is behind the motor.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
Four screws had to come out and the motor comes out the front and the tank's back there and he took 4 more little screws out and pulled the tank out of it. It was a big airplane.
That's wild.
Raby was master, but he was ahead of his time, but man, that was, I mean, think about it. Most of the molding techniques, most of us know, we learned from Al Raby. I mean, by the time I saw Billy Werwidge and Bobby Hunt's tape of it, which I did learn a lot from, I had already molded some stuff. Okay. So Raby was way ahead of his time, but he still could be beat, as Dennis proved.
Yeah, but I do agree that is maybe the most impressive model airplane of any genre or anything else. The most impressive one I've seen. I never saw the B-17 or anything like that, but as far as up to that, it had and he went back. I had to laugh. Roland McDonald, Bob McDonald's dad, made a comment. I think it was just a year or so later, Al came to the Mustang or came to the Nats. He had his Mustang with the molded fuselage. It was beautiful and everything like that.
Yeah.
And Roland McDonald, Al asked Roland what he thought of it. He kind of shrugged. And he says, it's a Mustang.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the best Mustang ever, but compared to the Sea Fury, there was no comparison.
Yeah,
right?
It was a Mustang. Yeah. Well, the Mustang still had flat sides. And
no, I think that was the first of his moldies, the one I'm thinking of. He built one in 68 that was a flat side, dihedral and everything, but it had flat sides. But he made the first of his moldeds, I believe, in 73 or 74.
I know the plane you're talking about. You're talking about Shark's Tooth, or it wasn't called Snaggletooth.
No, before that. There was one with blue. It was silver with blue E2S or something. I think it was
E2S was Easy 2 Sugar was the one after Snaggletooth. That's the one he built to go to the Nationals and it crashed.
Yeah, I thought he built. Okay, I thought
he didn't go to the Nationals. He built it to go to the Worlds and it crashed.
What about Millie?
Huh?
Where did Millie fit in?
I'm not familiar with that one.
Okay.
The one I think y'all are talking about is the last of the what I call the classics. And I've got plans to it. I'll have to look at it. I don't remember if that's molded or I know Easy 2 Sugar and or the
Snaggletooth, yeah.
Snaggletooth and the ones after it. The top is molded. I can't remember if the sides are or not, but I'll pull the plans. I've got one of the kits downstairs, I think.
Yeah.
I'll pull it and look at it.
Yeah, the first of his Mustangs, he flew before the Bearcat.
Mm-hmm.
Then he flew the Bearcat and another Bearcat, then the Sea Furies, and he went back to the Mustang. But that Mustang was molded.
Then he went back to the Bearcat. Then he built another Sea Fury, but he built it as the racing plane.
Yeah,
last one he built was that racing plane.
Yeah.
But everyone that I saw that Al built was just, I don't know how anybody could find fault in them. They were gorgeous.
Yeah, that critical mass. That I remember watching.
That was the last
Windy. Yeah, I remember watching the Windy videos of that airplane, and I was just shocked. I'm like, my God, how can somebody do that? It's just wild.
Well, my question after trying to fly a 72 Bearcat is, how do you hold on to a 91?
Well, I don't have any trouble with that. That's easy.
You use a Lenny Loop.
That's it. We're talking to the legend. You know,
I don't have
Lenny the
any-
legend here.
I don't have
so,
any, no, I don't know, but I don't have any trouble holding on to a 90 ship. They're not, they don't pull that hard. I laughed when Dennis said he flew Wendy's, which one was it? You
the
said
big sweeper.
the big sweeper, the red one. Yeah,
Hey,
the
on
MiG-
rainy days,
the MiG sweeper.
on rainy days, my shoulder still aches. All right. I flew that sucker in 1979 or 1980. My shoulder still aches. All right.
Hey, Phil, that
Yeah.
plane is easy to hold on to because nobody else wants it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
I'll tell
just
you
hope
what.
I get a shot at that at Brodax. I'm still hoping Bob Zambelli will let me have a flight on that thing. I'm dying to fly it.
Hey, Howard, are you still on here? I got something to show
Just a
Howard.
minute. I'm here. Sorry.
He's there.
He's here.
Are you there?
I'm here. Oh, look at that.
Oh,
Oh, he's got his payment ready.
he's got the payment ready.
What do you,
Can you
hang
see
on.
it?
now
Yeah,
you see it. Black raspberry seedless jam.
He's Jay.
Thank you.
I don't know what he's wanting, but he sure is showing
I'll
the
tell you
goods.
what, that I seen it in there. I'm like, I got to get a couple jars for Howard. It was the most damn expensive jelly in the whole place. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. But
Get what you pay for.
$7 a jar.
That's cheap. What's the problem?
Yeah, that's cheap.
The other ones were twice as big and they were $1 cheaper.
Yeah, they weren't worth it because they're not worth a damn. Why do you think he wants it?
Steve, as hard as you try, you just can't win sometimes.
I'll get them off to you when I get a box, Howard, that I can pad all up.
Bless
I
your
hate
heart.
to have all your jelly all
Yeah.
smooshing out.
I gotta
Hey,
get.
Tryon, when you
Thank you.
did that vector, why didn't you build it before you stuck the top blocks on there or whatever you want to, and then you can build it flat on a table. All the vector series and stuff like that, if the top is flat and the elevator goes just down as much as it take a 1/4 inch, you leave the top blocks off and turn it over and set it down with your elevator flat on the table and your fuselage flat on top of that. There's no adjust it.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, that's another way of doing it. Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, then there's no way to get it off unless your table would be on an angle. But yeah, I mean, that's
six of
one
one, half
reason.
dozen of the other.
That was one reason why Randy built it that way. Is, Bob does a lot of his airplanes that way too, is because there is no shim in them. It comes out perfect when you flip it upside down.
Yeah, that's a good idea. But the problem is that I already glued this top here.
Yeah, right. That's what I mean.
I didn't think that far ahead. That's why.
Oh, okay.
So that's a good idea. Maybe next time I'm gonna definitely consider it.
Yeah, I mean, then all you do is I do the wing and tail at the same time. I line up the fuselage, got the wing in it. The wing you got to shim, get that. The tail sets flat. I got 2 lines for my square lines. I set that up. Bang! I take and glue it right in place.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's just another way of doing it. Yes.
I got a quick question for John before I forget it again.
What's that?
The taper, the spinner on the Pathfinder drawings. What is that spinner? It's a 2-inch, but I can't find that taper anywhere.
Oh, I thought I did that off of the Dubro plastic spinner.
Oh Lord, I won't use those. Those plastic backs are just more trouble than they're worth.
Yeah, well, you can use any spinner. It's gonna.
Well, I know, but I just wanted to get that look,
Yeah.
I was about ready to see if somebody would print the thing for me.
Well,
That's,
there's several spinners that have different back plates that share pretty much the same side view.
Yeah, I got to find one that fits that thing. That look, I put one on it that it just doesn't. I don't know. I'm a stickler, as Steve found out when I saw that little line that's only this much, but I could see it. I see the little stuff, and once I get it in my head, I want it this way.
Yeah.
I can't seem to get it out. So anyway,
Yeah.
You know what you want.
It's like a
Yeah.
Spitfire with a wrong shaped spinner looks stupid. I get it.
How about
Yeah.
a P-51 Mustang?
Yeah, with a wrong shaped spinner, and you stand there going, "What the hell is that? That's not
Yeah,
right."
that's exactly right.
Yeah, like you wouldn't put a needle nose spinner on a Spitfire or a Mustang. It just looks stupid.
I got one for you. Tom drew a plane up. My wife tells me I'm talking too loud. Tommy drew a plane up, and I went and took a look at it. And I looked at that thing, and I thought, Tommy, have you lost your mind? And then I realized what it was. I thought at first I was looking at a P-51 Mustang. It was a P-40Q, but they look very much alike. I didn't realize they were so close.
Pick 6. Georgia's going to win this one.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought they were going to lose it there, but yeah, they pulled it out now. So they're up by 2 touchdowns with 54 seconds left.
As for spinners, if the Great Plains spinner has the correct angle, and I think it's 106 degrees, I'm not sure. I can print you one.
I might get you to do that. I get the plane a little further along. I might get you to do that for me, Howard. I like those metal back plates, and I want to put 3-blade spinner on it, a 3-blade prop on it.
Yeah, we're gonna have to find something else. Great Plains, they don't make anything anymore. You can't buy spinner, you can't buy hinges. It's gonna be stuff you have left.
Everything's going bye-bye. This is the problem. We're all hoarding our own hobby shops at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad we found out about the Teflon hinges, because that's going to be the way to go in the new planes.
Teflon?
Huh?
Teflon?
Kevlar, don't you?
Kevlar.
Kevlar.
I always do that. I don't know why. But anyway.
Well, I hate to think of Kevlar myself.
Well, I mean, I won't do it on my contest airplanes, the big birds. I have a few hinges left, but I've been the last 6 months, every time I go to hobby shop, first thing I do is go over, and if they've got hinges, at least a couple packs of them leave with me. I hate not having a hinge when I need it. That just drives me nuts. But I've been thinking about, if I ever build a plane with the wings that come off independently, I've been thinking about using those European hinges. Saw years ago, a Russian guy showed me at the Worlds. The wire came out of the back of the trailing edge and then made a 90 toward the fuselage. And when you put the wing on, you started it on, and then you took your flap and you put it on a horn that the end of the flap had a hole in it, like we always do. Instead of coming over the wire like this, it was a hole, and you put it on there, and you put the wing together, and you put these L-shaped wires in the slot, and then as you slid the wing in, the fuselage was on that wire and it stayed put. But when it was locked, all you saw was a 332 piece of wire coming out, 1/16 piece of wire coming out of the back of the fuselage. It just was really neat. I don't know how it would work and hold up, but I might try it on a classic or something, see what it does, just for the meanness of it. I just thought it was unique. But he had several ideas that were very unique. Some of the stuff Tran's thinking along the same lines, landing gear that plugs in and friction holds it in place. His had a little ball and socket in it, and the landing gear just had a dent in it. Yeah. When you put it in, you felt it, the detent, it popped in place. And that held the gear in place. Just little ideas like that. Just neat little thing. If you just go to these contests and look at stuff, you can't help but learn. Howard probably knows a bunch because he's been to a lot of contests.
I steal a lot of ideas, too.
Yeah. I have a lot of ideas. Problem is they get me in trouble.
Is Dubrow still making hinges?
I still see him at the hobby shop once in a while. When I see him, I grab a couple packs.
Yeah. Yeah, I got lots of those. So if I hear that they stop making them, then I'll be in trouble too.
I considered making the getting the ones that Sparky makes or Sparky does, the popsicles.
I think those will work. I just
don't
have
feel
some
like
other
making them.
ideas. I'm
He
sure
has a
I know
ven-
Sparky's works. I've seen several of his planes fly and they do very well.
He has a vendor in the vendors section of the forum. The guy will make them for you.
Okay.
Pretty
He
cool.
doesn't respond. I have actually requested. I haven't heard back from him 6 months ago, so I don't know what's going on. But
I guess he won't make them for you then, will he?
maybe he doesn't like me.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, you're too ugly.
Right. He sure if he doesn't like Charles, he sure wouldn't like me.
Oh, forget me then.
Yeah. Oh
Hmm.
boy.
Well, you guys are really getting wound up tonight.
Yeah.
He only makes them for 18-year-old blondes.
Yeah.
All right, so I have a question for you guys.
Go for it.
I have a question for you guys. So, okay, so the decision was to make a cutout for the landing gear in the bottom shell, right?
Mm-hmm.
And make a cover out of it. So obviously I'm going to cut some, maybe an inch in front of the landing gear, an inch behind it, so I can put a little notch in here where the landing gear is going to be, and have like a removable cap. But
Right.
how would you make this kind of shell removable?
Very carefully.
Treying, what I've always done is I put an 1/8 of an inch piece in the plane that's got the blind nuts in it. And then it's got another 1/8 of an inch piece down here. That's if you use wire, you have an 1/8 of an inch piece down here that the wire goes in between. It makes up for the wire. If you use a sheet metal one, like you're probably going to use on that, then you just leave that out. And that's going to butt up against this. Then you put another piece of wood, whatever depth you need. It's got to be plywood. It only needs to be 1/16 or something. And then a piece of balsa to touch that once you cut it, where it's going to go up on there. You just have to have that where it's in contact. Then drill your holes where it'll go through everything but the plywood and go up into your T-nut. It doesn't have to be hard. I mean, it doesn't have
so
to
you basically put 4 screws on the 4 corners and have like a plywood with a blind nut on the other side.
I use 4 screws. A lot of
Sounds
guys
kind of
use
like-
3. A lot of guys use 3. I use 4 because I've seen them come apart in contests too often.
Yeah.
You know, everybody says that extra screw, it's that much extra weight. I'm in it for the insurance. You know, peace of mind is what I'm after.
Yeah.
I bolt my landing gear onto a piece of plywood with blind nuts on the airplane. And then on top of that whole mess, what I have is a piece of plywood with balsa on top of that. And so those screws go through the whole thing and right into the blind nuts. And then they recess in the top into the balsa so that you don't see the heads of the bolts sticking out.
Yeah. And
Okay,
if you
so
really
you
want to make
basically
it,
use a piece of balsa wood on the top of your landing gear
Right.
struts and to blend it in and then continue the fuselage.
Right.
yep, that's it.
All right. I was thinking about that too. I mean, those are like a kind of like exact the two ideas. I had a third one that I was considering is something similar like we do for our for the cowl.
I can bring it up and
You
show
put
it
some
to you.
tabs, like vertical tabs, and then you put this on the vertical tabs and screw it from the side of the
Yeah.
fields.
I can bring it up and show it to you. Hang on.
No, I understand that.
He's gone now. But anyway, it's the simpler you can make it, the better off you are, Trey, and you master doing that anyway.
Yeah, but those are the 3 ideas. I thought you might have some other.
Landing gears in one place, I don't take any chances because invariably when that fails, the gear goes up into the wing, and then now you've got major repairs to make. So just make the landing gear rigid.
Gear, it's already on the hard blocks, the hardwood blocks and stuff like that. The same thing that you guys use for the engine mounts, the 3/8 by
Yeah.
1/2 inch hardwood
Yeah.
with blind nuts and all the good stuff. But I
You'll
want
be
to
all
make
right
a
then.
cover. I want to use this and this shot I have over here.
Yeah.
Just cut it here, cut it there, before and behind the landing gear, and use
Yeah.
this little piece over here and reconnect it somehow, right?
All you need is a piece of 1/16 that the screws can go in. There you go. You got back quick.
So
Yeah, then I see that.
there's the piece. And then there's just the 4 holes, and those bolts go right through the gear and through this plate that's on the bottom that just removed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lenny, that's a nice motor. What is that?
CAS 77. Yeah, it
A lot
runs
of
beautiful. Runs beautiful.
It's a lot of motor.
I'm just running a Top Flight 13.6 Super M prop on it, and it runs amazing.
Very nice looking plane.
Thank you.
I love that engine too.
Yeah,
Hey,
so
make
do
a
I.
video with it when you fly it.
I got to learn how to do that. I'll try and figure that out
What?
this summer.
Fly it or do the video?
You
Yeah,
don't have
both.
a smartphone?
What's that, Tryon?
You don't have a phone?
I'm sorry?
You don't have a phone?
I have a phone, but I don't know how you mount it and do such a thing. I've never done stuff like that.
Or there are a bunch of tripods out there. They're like $15 or something like that. They have mounts for the phones.
I'll have to see what I can figure out. Sounds good.
Well, that's a nice looking spinner there. That's
Thank you for
pretty.
showing me your plane. Appreciate it.
Yep.
It goes with your shirt. The
Yeah,
stripe
it does.
line goes with your shirt.
All right, guys. Thanks. And
Guys,
with
I think
that,
I'm gonna have
you
to
know
get
what?
out of
I
here.
think I'm gonna just go to bed.
Oh,
Say good
Tryon,
night.
before you go, I'm curious, what were the takeaways when you was in Mike's garage with his Axioma?
Takeaways? Like
Yeah, I
what?
mean, he actually was handling the plane. You actually
What'd you
were
learn?
the only one besides Mike who's actually handled that plane.
Well, it's what can I say? No, it's not like I learned something new over there or something like that. I was just trying to more curious about the build construction and things that they do over there.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's a very well built plane. I mean, just you can just buy it and go and fly it, and it's very easy to put stuff inside of it. There are lots of room inside the nose. Probably I would like to have a little bit more cooling going on over there, but it seems to be adequate because he's running a 6S or the 66 MESC, and I think the only thing that's going to warm up in that whole system might be the motor. But we did run it on the ground for 1.5 minutes, and I think in 1.5 minutes we'll probably get up to temperature, and it was completely cool.
Are you done?
Yes. Basically very little airflow on it, and so it's just fine. The paint job, seems like they do the paint job after the molding process. They are actually molding the parts plain white, and then they add on top of the white stripes and whatever. It was a nice paint job, very decent, good quality, stuff like that. It's not a 20-point plane like Mike said. He was very honest about it, but it's a very, very well made. And I mean, just for anybody that wants to have like a take apart to go from point A to point B, it's a nice investment. That's what I've said have to say about that. It's just, yeah. Do I compare it with my plane or something like that? If you want to do that, we can go there too. It's
Just a minute.
it's just, I think my plane is just better all around. The way the thing takes apart, they come back together, the way that the battery installs in the plane. There's no it's just I think the control system on my plane that is better. Alignment, it's a little bit better on the elevator, lighter weight too. His plane was about 64 ounces or so, I think, somewhere over there. Mine it's 54 if I just really go nuts on it. I mean, it's 710 square inches. I didn't get to fly it. You know, I would love to have flown it, and you know, and that's that. You know, I don't think Axioma has the capability of having interchangeable parts. I think it's a one-off kind of thing. He's fitting them as he assembles and stuff like that. It's not really a you know, like a gun. You know, change parts, boom, 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 and be back in business.
Okay.
So that's but you know, that it's a different concept altogether.
Right.
It's a very nice plane. I mean, heck, you know, it's like if you want to have a travel plane or something like that, something to go out and have be something. There are a lot of contests around us that are no BOM rule, and because of that, you know, just I think it's like, hey, go and have fun, you know.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm pretty sure, Charles, you would have loved to have that plane with you.
Oh, of course, yeah. I
And
mean,
go
I
to Las
can't make the
Vegas and just,
revolutions.
that's it, you know. Grab the box and throw it in the back of your truck, and the box is not big. I mean, it's just relatively small, you know. Just not. It's about as long as the wing is, about 30 inches, you know. So, and it's about this tall and about that wide, you know. Just very, very tiny box. And the fuselage basically breaks in two pieces, and they go like that inside the box, boom, and the wings stay on top of each other, and you have a place for the elevator and the landing gear and all the stuff. And it's, I mean, it's a well-made plane. I mean, I like it. It's a very good quality, very solid quality.
Very
And
cool.
the
Thank
price,
you very
I
much.
mean, hell, that's what was like
Thank you,
1,300
Tryon.
bucks without the box or whatever.
Well, it's more than that now.
Oh, is
I
it?
don't know. I don't know the price of it. Yeah, I think they use, for what I've noticed, I think they use fiberglass, and I'm not sure what they use on the inside.
You know what I
But
find
they still do a
interesting?
foam. I think
What? What is the price of it now, Phil?
I'm not sure. I'll ask Will Davis when I see him.
Yeah, because I know there's a plane, and you pay for the box, and you got to pay for shipping.
Yeah, and if you're smart, you buy some of his
something about
propellers.
some $2,200, $2,200 for the whole plane with the box and stuff like that.
Oh, now it is?
Still a good deal.
His was $2, but I think they've gone up $200.
It's still a good deal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's still a good deal.
You
when
count your
figure-
time as anything, that's still a good deal.
Yeah.
Very good deal.
But I still like the idea of the revolution with I need a new nose. He sends me one and I bolted on, it works. I mean, you know.
I wish I would have got one there when I was in France, but they were supposed to come through Orestes and them, and I had one on order. I don't know what happened, but they were only $800 then. But I never got mine. Kaz was supposed to order 10 of them, but I don't know what happened with that either. We were all there that night and putting in orders, but yeah, $800 on that. That would have been a hell of an airplane. He was showing it out there in France.
That thing that Oki Air sells is 700. Well, when I talked to him about it, which has been at least a couple 3 months now, it was $750 then, and it was from China, and it is full flying elevator only, no flaps, but it comes apart just like what he's talking about. And I haven't seen one yet. Larry Drone has one, but I have not seen it yet. So I don't know.
There's a number of these guys making these now. There's guys in the Ukraine. There's guys everywhere doing these. So it's just a matter of who you want to go with, I guess.
Exactly, yeah.
Where
I
did
think
that one?
Shark is made in Ukraine.
The Shark. Yeah, my buddy has a Shark, and it's absolutely beautiful. It's a beautiful airplane.
Hey, I don't know if he's Russian or I think he's Russian. The guy that is in Canada now, and he brought that. Yeah, what airplane is he?
That's
flying?
a Shark. That's a Shark.
No, that's not a Shark.
He had something last year at our national.
He has a number. He has a number of them. He has two or three of them.
This wasn't anything like any of the Yashenko airplanes.
No, it
No,
wasn't
a
a
little
shark.
Yeah,
and
he has
you
a
can-
different one. Yeah,
you
I know the
can-
one you mean.
You can
Yeah.
go over there and build it and then make it BOM.
Yeah,
Well,
That's what he did.
That's what Orestes did.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, so that's what Constantine did because he came to the United States and then he went over there and came back and he was having problems getting back into Canada. But he went around the COVID thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another airplane. I don't know what it costs to fly, what it costs if you go over there and build it. But that would even be a thing there for Mike's, got that airplane of his. I mean, if you went over there and built it, then it would be BOM legal.
Like, I don't know about the BOM thing, but without just buying it and having them ship it to you, when my buddy got his a year or so ago, or maybe a little longer ago, it was 2,500 then, I think. So it might be
That's the
more
Shark.
now.
That's
Yeah.
the Shark.
The shark, yeah.
Yeah, it's up near 3 now, is what I understand.
Okay. And I've looked at my buddies. It's absolutely gorgeous. A gorgeous airplane. I'm just like, wow. Really, really well made.
Yeah,
I
they
love
are.
to fly those things. Mike said that he would allow me to fly his Axioma, which I would
Cool.
absolutely love to get my hand on it and do a side-by-side comparison, see how it feels.
Yeah.
I might even get a handle with me to just
get your own handle. Exactly.
to just set it up to my flying style, right?
Yeah,
And then,
exactly.
and then see what I think about it. I mean, just I'm open to just about anything. I mean, you watch me building wood planes and composite planes and flying just about anything I can get in my hands on.
I'm afraid to.
Rusty says it's a really good flying airplane. That he would have no qualms, when I talked to him at the Nats, he said I would have no qualms telling anybody if they want that airplane that it's a hell of an airplane.
Which one?
The Axioma or the Shark?
What's that?
Shark.
Which one? Which plane you talking about, Steve?
The Axiomas.
Okay.
Oh, the Axioma?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they were gonna bring him in or whatever. And I don't know what all happened there, but he said it's a great flying airplane. So
great.
I mean, it's well made. I like the hardware and stuff like that, and everything is very nice about it.
I'm too afraid to fly one. I'm afraid I'll like it too much.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
That's my problem. I won't fly.
Yeah, that's definitely a problem, man. You give somebody your plane and they want to give it back after that.
Glenn, you wouldn't like it. It doesn't weigh enough.
I like
You'd be
any.
like, I don't want to fly this little powder
Look at.
airplane.
I like anything that I can beat a few more people with. Don't worry.
There you go. There you go.
I'm not that prejudiced about weight.
But it only comes in electric.
Well, there you go, right?
There you go. You're that
Had to
good.
go.
Wait a minute.
That's
You
okay.
had to get the Shark. You can still get it.
Even Len has lines he won't cross.
Yeah,
No.
like
You know what? If I decided I needed a plane to go to a world champs over across the pond, I would get one. I would. It's just too hard not to do that. Then you know what I mean. I mean, how do you? I just don't see me building an IC engine plane that's fully take apart, fully everything, and lug it across the pond. I can't see it.
And then you gotta get fuel.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's the big one.
Exactly. It's just not worth it anymore.
I mean, if you're European and you go to your European World Championships when it's over there,
fair enough.
Then you don't care.
No,
but flying from anywhere and trying to bring fuel with you, forget it.
Yeah, they're not going to let you do that easily. I can tell you right now.
Yeah, and if that's not enough, once you go over there, you find out like you're high altitude or low altitude or God knows what else, and you need a different fuel. You need the 5% instead of the 10 you brought with you.
And
or you need the 15 instead of the 5 you brought with you.
And let's be honest. the airplane and all the paraphernalia that goes with it. All of it. And I mean everything that you need, chargers, batteries, everything. It's still under $5,000. It's not like this isn't a massive commitment here.
Yeah.
It's a model airplane. It's a $5,000 model airplane. It's not that we can't afford it. It's just that it's a decision of whether or not you want to do that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I still choked on in the same sentence, $5,000 and model airplane.
Well, how much have you spent on model airplanes in your whole career of flying? I bet it's a lot over
let's don't
$5,000.
go there.
Probably 10 million hours. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
So
yeah, but
$5,000.
I don't put any dollar signs on that. So
Exactly.
It wasn't that long ago that
But it's over $5,000.
to buy a real airplane.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it wouldn't even be that much. If it was even 22 for the airplane, by the time that you bought the motor, ESC, all that kind of stuff, battery, charger, I mean, you
And the
might,
box and everything else.
you'd have less than 3,000.
Well, even
Yeah.
if it was 3, it's still, it's
Yeah.
not that much.
yeah.
I still
Anyway.
see this as a cheap hobby.
Well, it is. Anytime you think anytime you think this is getting too expensive, go out with your buddy and play a round of golf.
Exactly.
Or go out with your buddy and take a bass boat out and fill it up with gas and go out and spend a day throwing $22 crankbaits.
Or,
I mean,
or
my
go
idea of
trap
gambling. My
Go
idea of
trap shooting.
gambling. Go what? Do what, John?
Go trap shooting.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's
exactly.
expensive too. My idea of gambling. I take a $22 crankbait and tie it on a piece of monofilament line, throw it out there into who knows what because it's so muddy, I don't know what's there, and gamble I'm gonna get it back stuck in a fish's face. Guys, I gotta take the dog out. You guys have
All
a
right.
great one. I'll see
Hey,
you
thanks,
Friday
Phil,
night.
for coming
Bill,
in.
you have a great
And
night.
Take
You
welcome,
too.
care, Bill.
Dennis Nunes. Thank you for coming
Have a
in,
great
Dennis.
week.
Hi, Phil.
And Tom Ramel, thanks for coming in, Tom. I want to end the live stream part. We can still continue on, but I want to end the live stream. And we had a good show. We had I don't remember us eclipsing 35 likes before.
Wow, that's awesome.
So that is awesome. And at the peak of the show, I think we had, let me see here. Looks like, I think about 27 people watching us, but that's great. Fantastic. 35 likes. We had $20 in chat revenue. Thank you, Rick Wallace, for the $20. I appreciate that. And with that being said, we're going to end the live stream, but we'll continue on and we'll be back Friday. So go in your shop or go out and fly, have some fun, come back and tell us all about it Friday. Thank you very much for watching, and we will be back. We will see you later. Bye-bye.
Yeah, I'm taking off. We'll see you.
All right.
Take it easy, John.
Thanks for coming in, everybody.
Good night.